The wind blows between broken columns, no trumpet echoes, only the distant sound of footsteps, as if the marble still resembled ancient voices. Rome, once the beating heart of the world, is now a body that breathes in ruins. They say that time destroys empires, but it doesn't. It's oblivion that kills first. The same forum that once vibrated with applause is now the scene of a silence that screams. The people disappeared, but the shadows remained. Each stone seems to ask, who will remember the Rei, men who built it all? The sun tears the horizon and reveals eyeless statues, temples that no longer harbor faith. The smell of incense and iron mixes with the powder. It was here that Rome believed itself to be eternal. But even eternity has cracks. Before the next sound echoes among the ruins, I want to ask you something simple but powerful. If this scene has awakened something in you, a shiver, a memory, a curiosity, then don't let that feeling be lost in the wind like the voices of Rome. Click. Now on like and subscribe to the channel, because this is where we keep alive the flame of stories that time has tried to extinguish. Each like is like lighting a torch among the forgotten columns, and each inscription is a new name etched in the memory of the empire. You are part of this reconstruction. Don't just watch, participate. Like, comment, and subscribe now. Help give voice to the heroes that silence has tried to bury, and become a guardian of history that should never be forgotten. Between 27 BC and 180 AD, Rome seemed to have conquered time itself. The roads crossed continents like veins carrying grain, letters, and armies. The aqueducts cut through dry valleys, pouring water as if nature itself bowed to the empire. In the Champ de Mars, the metallic sound of swords mixed with sweat and discipline. The Senate calculated taxes, and magistrates discussed laws that would shape centuries. In the provinces, the emperor's face was stamped on coins that reached the deserts of Syria and the fields of Gaul. Peace, imposed by the sword, had a price and brilliance. Squares teemed with spices and promises. Children ran under the golden banners, believing they lived in eternity. Rome was more than an empire. It was an idea engraved in marble, a flame that was thought to be inextinguishable. But under each perfect stone, silence was already whispering warnings. Time, patiently, waited for its breach. Behind the golden glow of the eagles, ambition was beginning to erode the foundations. In 9 AD, the Teutoburg forest returned mutilated bodies and banners stained with shame. 3 legions disappeared into the fog, and for the first time the empire tasted fear. Victory ceased to be certainty, and the name of Rome echoed lower in the confines of Germania. Decades later, the year of the 4 emperors plunged the capital into chaos. The throne became a prize of war, bought with blood and promises. Entire garrisons swore allegiance to the sound of coins. The empire was too big to rule, and each frontier required more men, more gold, more faith. In the provinces, veterans watched dry fields and wondered if the oath to the eagle was still worth the sacrifice. Meanwhile, in Rome, the games offered bread and distraction. Under applause, the people did not notice. The cracks were already running through the columns. Between 235 and 284 AD, Rome bled silently. The empire fragmented into pieces that were no longer recognized, self-proclaimed. Augustus' generals rose under a hail of spears, and loyalty became a rare currency. With each new emperor, the people saw their faces changed on the coins, like someone who changes masks in a theater of ruins. The borders burned. Barbarians crossed frozen rivers while cities hastily erected walls. Gold lost value, bread became scarce, and fear ran rampant in the markets. The discipline of the legions, the pride of centuries, was crumbling. Starving soldiers sold glory for safety, and temples asked for miracles that no longer came. In the midst of the chaos, an anonymous scribe wrote, "Rome still lives, but it has forgotten why it exists." The words faded into the ashes, but they echo to this day, reminding us that no empire falls suddenly. It wears away from within, devoured by its own promises. Each century has brought a blow, and each blow has torn away a piece of eternity. In 212 AD, the Edict of Caracalla gave citizenship to all free men, a grand gesture but too expensive. The gold flowed like wounded blood. In 260, Emperor Valerian was captured by the Persians. Rome, which never knelt, now bowed its head before the enemy. Then came Adrianople, AD 378, a field of heat and dust. Roman pride was shattered when the Goths surrounded the infantry and crushed the hearts of the legions. The empire began to stumble over its own echoes. And in 410, the impossible happened. Alaric entered Rome. The sacred doors, which were never to give way, creaked under the weight of history. Among the ashes, mothers were looking for children, soldiers were hiding tears, and the Senate's gold lost its luster. Rome, the mistress of the world, now knew the bitter taste of humiliation. But the worst was yet to come. The borders became open wounds, and Rome no longer had the strength to stop the blood. Governors levied more taxes, delivered less protection, and the loyalty of allies was bought with coins that were no longer worth anything. In the fortresses of the Rhine and the Danube, the wind howled through the cracks of the walls, and the sentinels counted nights that seemed eternal. There were generals who sold roads in exchange for their own salvation. Entire cities opened their gates, not out of cowardice, but out of fatigue. When the looters came, first it was the distant roar, then the flash of fire, and finally the silence. Houses burned, temples looted, and dust covering what remained. Manuscripts turned to ashes, banners served as bandages, and the voices of heroes faded under the weight of oblivion. Rome, which once erected monuments to the gods, now had no one to write the names of those who died for it. Bronze is cold, paper fears fire, and the people learned to move forward, even without memory. 476 AD, the last breath of a weary empire. On the throne, a boy, Romulus Augustulus, name of founder, destiny of the end. There was no glory or ceremony. Odoacer entered Rome without fanfare, without resistance. The swords were dull, the eyes empty. The power that once set the world on fire now fit into a silent gesture, the handing over of a weightless crown. The symbol fell slowly. The golden eagle, once raised in triumph, descended to the ground, soiled with dust. On the streets, the people watched without understanding. The Senate was silent. The workshop stopped. The temples, once full, became echoes. The city that ruled the world now heard only the sound of its own footsteps. Rome was not destroyed in a day. She died slowly, like a flame suffocated by time, and when silence took the place of trumpets, it was understood. The strongest empire on earth had been defeated not by enemies, but by oblivion. The end does not always come with swords. Sometimes it disguises itself in small noises. The banner that falters in the wind, the gate that creaks more than usual, the soldier who swears allegiance without looking him in the eye. The empire died in gestures, in pauses, in coins that were too light, and in letters that no longer arrived. Rome did not fall, it went out, slowly, like a forgotten candle in an empty temple. In homes, mothers lit lamps in front of silent homes. The Tiber continued to flow, but its banks seemed cold, uninhabited, as if the river itself lamented the past. The wind, that ancient messenger, took over the narrative. He passed between columns and ruins, whispering names that no one else repeated. And in the echo of these winds, a cruel truth. When the city forgets its dead, silence becomes its new emperor. Rome was not conquered, it was abandoned. What dies is the pride of always. What remains is the trace of the human. Rome has collapsed, but its veins continue to pulsate on the roads, in the laws, in the languages we speak. Even the worn stones still know the way to glory. The libraries hold names like embers, hidden under ashes, forgotten heroes, anonymous soldiers, women who sustained the daily life of an empire that claimed to have no end. The ruins count for more than the monuments. In them lives the echo of sacrifice, the courage of the Aquiliferous who defended the eagle to the last breath, the field doctor who healed without rest, the poet who wrote for no one. Rome did not take her heroes. He left them along the way, scattered over time. Every story told today is a resurrection. It is an act of resistance against forgetting. Because as long as anyone remembers, Rome still breathes. Walking through the Roman Forum today is like crossing a graveyard of ideas. The cold marble touches the skin and seems to wonder if we still remember the price of glory. Each column is an epitaph, each stone an erased name. Rome has fallen many times, but the memory, when cared for, remains standing. Because silence only wins when we stop telling the stories. If this video has ignited something in you, don't let that flame go out. Subscribe, share, and write in the comments. Which moment for you symbolizes the true end of Rome? Her voice is a bridge between the past and the present. Every click, every word is a lamp lit against oblivion. Nameless heroes still sustain the story, and perhaps in this instant, one of them found life again through his memory. May the wind from the ruins carry this message. Time erases empires, but it does not erase the memory of those who dared to resist. Silence only wins when we forget.